Good evening, Yarnies. How is everyone doing tonight? Hope everybody's well. Hope he's having a good weekend. Gotta hydrate. I'm doing pretty good. So tonight we're going to be doing... Oh, let me adjust my audio. Sometimes it's loud for me, but not for you. The setting is a little different. Okay. I think that might be alright. Tonight we're doing blankets for Project Linus, and it's keying out because there's green and there's gray, and so Grammy got me a Team Linus t-shirt. It's probably better if I lean back. Thank you, Grammy. For the A command, you could do Monty Python sound bit for, and there was much rejoicing. I'm not really familiar with Monty Python. I'm on a stretch break from the blanket. Almost finished the popcorn section. Yay for almost finished popcorn sections. That blanket's gonna come out really, really nice, Fairy Dice. And I didn't greet you. How are you, Fairy Dust? And hey there, Grammy. So I guess we can get right into it. I'm gonna switch over to my top down. And you notice I've got the Project Linus image and logo up. Hopefully that looks good. I was trying to find one that had a background that wasn't too weird. Actually, let me make it like that. That might be better. Yeah, that looks a little better. But that's the best one I can find. I wanted one with actual Linus on it. So those of you who don't know what Project Linus is, oh, it already did it. And the link is there. It's a charity for children that are in need. They take and handmade, brand new, not one of a kind. Well, they are one of a kind. Handmade, brand new blankets, crocheted, knitted, quilted, etc. And they give them to children that are in need. Fair dust. I'm well. I'm hibernating and crocheting all day. Should have mowed, but I was ultra lazy. Nope. Sometimes you just need to hibernate and do what you got to do. I was trolling the hey there, Clean Miko. How are you doing? You haven't been in here in a while. I'm pretty good. I've been on Twitch most of the day, checking out some of the streams that I follow. Those of you who don't know, check out Zakalia. She's actually finishing up a... Hold on. Let me get the thing. The thing. Spell her name right. Check out Zakalia. She is a variety crafter. She does a lot of fiber arts, crocheting, knitting, sewing, cross stitch. She was celebrating her 4-year Twitch affiliate anniversary. And for doing that, she was working on a diamond painting, which I'm not really into diamond painting. I have one or two little diamond painting projects. Couldn't really get into it. It's kind of like paint by numbers, but it's little square, round, little plastic, little shiny little tiles that you put into specific spots. But that's what her and her daughter were working on one. Each were working on one. But definitely check her out. And then I popped into a stream who I've been in the stream before. I think I was watching someone else's stream and we raided into this stream. She does crocheting. She might be doing other yarn or fiber crafts. Well, what she was doing today, she was playing a video game. But her personality is a little let me get this right. A little scattered and out there, but she's pretty cool. She's pretty funny. But it's like a little like, I don't know about her. Check out Miss Jen's. Oh, I gotta wait 10 seconds before giving out another shout out. There's a cooldown. I gotta figure out how to change that. There's probably a way, but I'm not certain. But check out her. She's got a upbeat, funny personality, and she has mentioned the other night when I was in her stream that she's kind of like a squirrel. Like, things distract her very easily, and she doesn't stay on topic when she's talking. So, if you want a little bit of craziness, check her out. So let me zoom out a little bit. So I'm not doing anything detailed. Let's see here. Indeed, is one of a kind. The world couldn't handle another. Reorganizing sewing room. Hey there, Dan. I'm pretty good. How are you? Let's see. I'm working on one of the blankets I'm making for Project Linus. Project Linus! I've got a lot done on this. It's a pretty easy pattern. If anybody is interested in this pattern, I don't have the link right at hand, but it's on yarnspirations.com. It is called the Man Cave Throw. It is specifically written for the camouflage yarn, but you don't have to use camouflage yarn for it. It's a pretty easy one repeat row if you want something that's somewhat mindless, but it's a little bit different. Let me get to the end of this little repeat, this little section here, and I'll show what the row will look like. I know it's a little dark because it's camouflage, and they're not bright colors. You can make it whatever width and length you want. I don't remember what they recommend. I kind of modified the length and width, but I don't know how well. I'm mindless and a little bit different. Oh, aren't we all? I don't know how well it's showing up. Let me. There, you can kind of see the pattern, the stitch pattern. All it is 5 doubles, and then you do a chain 1, skip 1, do a double, chain 1, skip 1, do a double, chain 1, skip 1, do a double. So it's 5 doubles, and then it's a variation of fillet. Instead of chaining 2, skipping 2, you're chaining 1, skipping 1. So you do 3 open spaces, and then 5 doubles again. And you start and stop each row with the 5 doubles. That's all this is. It's the whole thing. They recommend to do this in, well, it's written for the camouflage yarn that I'm using here. The whole thing, all camouflage. Well, I wanted to break it up, so I added this dark brown to break it up. Plus, I didn't think I had enough camouflage yarn to do the entire thing, so I wanted to err on the side of caution. So I broke it up with the brown. And then eventually, this is about 50 inches wide. I'm not certain how long I'm going to make it. I'm about 45, 46 inches long now. I'm going to make it a little bit longer. Obviously, it's for a kid size. I would probably say it's like elementary school age, roughly. give or take. Um, it does call for a border. I haven't got to the border yet. I don't even know what the border, how it's worked up. So it's a real basic, simple pattern. Again, you don't have to use these colors. And I don't even need to look at the pattern anymore because it's the same thing over and over and over again. What I just happen to be doing is for where I'm modifying it, adding the brown, I'm doing 4 rows of the camo and then 1 of brown. So every 5th row is a brown. It's just 1 stripe. And I do 4 of the camo and just repeat. And I started with where's it at? I started with 4 camo. I'm going to end with 4 camo. And then go around when the border. I'm probably going to use the brown for the border. Not exactly certain how the stitch pattern will be for what they recommend. If not, I'll make up one on my own. So Grammy's, oops, hold on. Grammy's reorganizing her sewing room, and Fairy Dust is taking a break from a really pretty blanket he's working on. What is everyone else working on? If you're working on something. Okay, this is my 3rd row of the camo. I'll do 1 more row of camo before I have to change out my color. But I figure tonight, if I get a little tired of doing, oh, that's not supposed to be a chain, that's supposed to be right into a double. If I got tired of doing this blanket, I'll switch back over to the baby blue Endlessly Elegant blanket, which I haven't touched in a while. But that one I will need to refer to the pattern. You need to make room for your other addiction yarn. Yes. Always need room for your yarn. I need to actually go through my yarn and reorganize, and I've got all my worsted together, but I need to separate some of the textured worsted, kind of like that baby yarn. It's got that crinkle to it, which I think that baby yarn technically is a DK. And I need to separate the cottons out from the acrylics. Oh, the other modification that I made on this, on the ends, they want you to chain 2 and turn, or chain 3, and turn and do your double crochet. The modification I did was I only chain 1, turn, and then do a double crochet. For me, it made the edge a little bit straighter and easier and nicer looking. Dan says, I'm good, a lot better than I was. Was in the hospital for a week to get my lack of sleep figured out and come up with a long-term solution for the night terrors. Ooh, both of which were successful. Was discharged last Wednesday. Getting a walker in a couple of weeks as it helps with my knee pain and help me be more steady on my feet. It's only going to be for when I go off property of my group home. Wow. Hope you feel better. Hope everything's looking up. Sorry that you had to be in the hospital. Okay. I'm getting caught on things. Yarn's getting caught on T-pins and... Oh, why'd I type in a 0? Things are definitely looking up at the moment. That's always good to hear. I didn't mean to type the number 0. I bumped it. Four and 5. 2. Oh, 3. And we're gonna have a add. 3. I gotta count that 5th one because I've messed up previous rows. I've only done 4, and then when I go to the next row, I don't have the right amount of stitches, and you gotta frog back. But this is easy to frog and easy to stitch up. There's nothing complicated. I will be back right after this ad. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sitting through that ad. I appreciate it. It definitely helps my channel. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Make certain that I was doing the right amount of rows and the right stitches, because, I've been known to mess it up. Oops. And I feel a sneeze coming on. I hate that. Why is it every time I go to stream, I sneeze? Whoa. Guess I'm allergic to it. But yeah, this is a bunch of yarn that Claymiko had given to me, and I'll never do anything with it. It's not my favorite colorway. Yeah, that's it. I'm allergic to everybody. It's not my favorite colorway. It's not my favorite yarn, but I'm finding a use for it. And again, she was nice enough to give me a bunch of yarn. A couple years ago, when she was pregnant, she needed to make room for the baby, so she needed to purge some of her stash. So I was the recipient of it. That's given me a bunch of different yarn. The past couple months, she's given me that really nice merino sock yarn. She gave me a few weeks ago. She gave me a bunch of cotton, brightly colored cotton yarn that, for whatever reason, I think she said she didn't like the feel of it. And normally she likes cotton yarn, but I guess the finish or the texture that this has, she didn't really care for. So that yarn I have been using on stream to demonstrate stitches. Where's my sample? Got my sample here somewhere. You remember a little while back when I did the sample of mosaic crochet? This is some of that yarn that she gave me. She must really love the baby if she's giving away yarn to make room for the baby. Well, of course, and it's her first, and I think if you talk to her only child. So this was some of that brightly colored cotton yarn that she gave me that I used when I did the mosaic crochet a few weeks ago. And I'm still in the process of trying to come up with, design my own mosaic crochet pattern. I haven't gotten far on it. I haven't touched it in a few days. But once I figure it out and perfect it, then I will show that pattern here on stream. I've never designed a full project before. Yeah, I've designed little samples here and there, like I do here for my stream. Some of them I come up with on my own, but never a full sized item. Alrighty, okay, I'm ready to change colors. And if you're interested in what I'm using, the camo is Red Heart Super Saver in the color camo. And Grammy was nice enough to give me some of this brown worsted acrylic. It's actually from Hirschner's. It's called Hirschner's Worsted. I think that's what it's called. It is a little bit softer than the Red Heart, but it will definitely work. And I need a little drinky drink. And it would happen to be the perfect shade of brown. I think she had another shade of brown, but it was a little too much reds or oranges in it, and it really wouldn't work with the camo. Of course, my yarn is caught on my T-pins again. I've got a makeshift pin cushion, which I still have to work on the actual pin cushion, but our sad green ball of yarn is my makeshift pin cushion with all my T-pins, and the yarn just keeps getting caught on those. Now I'm gonna do my little flipperoo. That's a technical term, flipperoo. Check something real quick. So the other night when I told the story, I was telling the story about the yarn gremlins messing with me with a stitch marker. Got another little story. It's not really a story. Well, it is a story. Grammy saw this also. So there's a crochet group that we belong to on Facebook, and somebody asked in that group. Now, hold on to yarn when I say this. They asked, "How often do you wash your crochet hooks?" We're like, didn't know that was a thing. So apparently you're supposed to wash your hooks. Never, ever, ever heard of such a thing. Ooh. Would assure you, you wash them only if they appear dirty. But I've never had a hook appear dirty in my 20 some years of crocheting. Never. Now, okay, I did have a steel hook that was old and was not stainless steel, and it's a little rusty, and I was able to remove some rust. I get that. I totally get that. But they didn't know it was a regular thing that you're supposed to wash your hooks. As long as you don't eat Cracker Jacks while crocheting, I don't eat Cracker Jacks, period. I've never been a fan of Cracker Jacks. Grammy, you know this. The only time I ever wanted Cracker Jacks is to get the little prize in it. And I don't even think they put prizes in them anymore. I don't even know if they still make Cracker Jacks. Some of the rubber handles of mine can get dirty after a couple projects. Okay, no, I get that. I get that if there's some the quality of the handle and all, if it does get dirty. I get that, but I guess the way they worded it seemed like it's something that everybody should do for all of their hooks. Okay. Was counting a little weird there. I was like, wait a minute. Thought I did 5 and I needed to put an extra stitch, and I'm like, why do I have 6? So not only am I a tight hooker, my hooks are dirty, so I'm a dirty tight hooker. Split the yarn. Normally I don't have an issue with this yarn splitting, but I guess that one stitch just kind of one spot wanted to split. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the end of this row, and then we're going to switch to the other blanket, which is the one that takes a little more concentration and brain power than this. Yes, brain power. Feels like something is poking into my arm, but I don't know what that could be. So that I don't fall asleep on stream. I I've never done that. Now, I have to admit, I've been into other people's streams, not because they were boring. Definitely not because they were boring, but I was so tired and I was planning on hanging out there for a long time, and I was sitting here and I did doze off. But again, not because they were boring. If they're boring, I don't even bother going into their stream, which I haven't really encountered any boring streamers yet. Had to wash one of mine yesterday. At work, I spilled a 20-ounce coffee on me while getting out of the car, and it got all over my crochet bag. Had to wash my hook and notions, which I had with me. That's perfectly understandable. I get that. That makes sense. Totally makes sense if you spill something on it. Positive note: the smell of the inside of my car should make you wide awake. Well, fairy dust. If I was in your car, I would not be happy. I do not like the smell of coffee. Never liked it. I am not a coffee drinker. I get my caffeine from tea or Diet Coke or Diet Dr. Pepper. Never been a coffee fan. The smell of it is what turns me off. Same thing with beer. Can't stand the smell of beer. Couldn't even get it into my mouth. Mm-mm. Other alcoholic drinks, on the other hand, that's a different story. we're coming to the end here. And then we will switch over. Not only we're switching projects, we're switching hooks. I use the smaller hook because it's a thinner yarn. I don't mind tea once in a while, but you can keep the cough syrup Dr. Pepper. Beer is my alcohol of choice less these days. Been years since I've had anything, though. No, my alcohol of choice is... Grammy got me... I'm not going to say addicted, because it's not... No, I don't know. I'm not an alcoholic. Grammy got me drinking rum and coke. But I've progressed from Bacardi, which I will still drink some Bacardi, but let me get this out real quick. There's a lot of work done on it. Me and Grammy have a wine/alcohol fairy in the neighborhood. Long story. We were gifted some rum last year. It's called Bumbu. So good. So good. And I've got a bottle of it somewhere. But it comes in a bottle that looks like the old pirate style rum bottles. Yeah. Okay, I gotta remember. Oh, I know what we're doing. I know. Grammy gave me some pointers on this or some suggestions on this, and I know what I need to do. So I can't show all of this because it is too large. It is in my Discord. I have been taking pictures of this periodically. Again, this is the Endlessly Elegant blanket on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. And you do your repeats. You start in the center. It's all in a square. And you do I call it the field. You do this. It's basically two-row repeat. The corners are slightly different because it gets larger as you go. And then you do your quote-unquote border. It's these popcorns and these back post double crochets. And then you repeat it over and over again. So you do your field, your quote-unquote border, and you keep going. There is a slight color difference in this. They are technically the same colors, just different dye lots. And I didn't want it to look totally strange. So we have determined what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one full repeat, meaning all of this and this edging, this border here. It's not really a border, but... And then do a couple rows of this, and then finish it with this lighter one again. I think that'll be done. I gotta pull up the pattern for this because you gotta do something different on each row. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. This is technically row number 26, I think. Let me just double check here. Yes, I won't need the pattern until I get to the corner. Let me zoom in a little. Yes, this pattern's on Ravelry. I should have this close at hand, but I don't. Nope, that's not it. That's not the right. I'll get the link for you in a second. Here's the link. That is the link for this blanket. You could do it in, you could change up the color. Some of the examples they have, the center is one color and then it gradiates out into other colors. You could do it all solid like I'm doing. You can kind of mix it up. And you can make it as large as you want, because it's basically a 35 row repeat, basically. Actually, less than that. It's like a 19 row repeat, and then you can keep building and building and building onto that. Okay. This one I do have to pay a little attention to, because I do have to count a little more. But I really like the pattern. Grammy found the pattern for me. And again, I needed to use up this yarn. It's an older yarn. I mean, had it for a while. Damn, I can't use Ravelry since they made all the changes a few years ago. You got a bad headache from Ravelry? I'm sorry. Actually, I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to try something. It's a free pattern, so again, me sending the actual PDF is not a problem because it's a free pattern. I don't know if I'm going to be able to send. No, it has to be a link. Give me 1 second. Copy link address. Oh no, that just goes back to that, to Ravelry. Because I have the PDF. Actually, you know what I can do? Dan, are you in my my Discord? If not, I can send it. I don't know if I can send it in a whisper here on Twitch. We're learning. We're learning. No, I can't send it on. Yeah, I can't send it the PDF on. Oh, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. I know what I can do. We could do this. We can do it. We have the power and the technology. I have another link to it because I store it in my Dropbox, and I can send the Dropbox link. There you go. That link should take you to the pattern. Yep. It's only a chart, though. So if you have problems reading charts, that's the issue. I don't think there are any written instructions. It's all chart-based. but it's pretty simple. The only difficult part is the corners of each row. I got to double check something. That fan. Yeah, I did that right. Okay, we're gonna have another ad here. I know the ads are a pain, but they definitely help my channel. I will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. But yeah, that pattern, like I said, is only in chart form. It's not in a written out form. But if you have trouble reading charts, if you check out my YouTube channel a while ago, I don't remember exactly when it was, I do have a video on there showing a real brief overview on how to read charts. They can be a little complicated and confusing, but it's like learning a new language. You have to know what each symbol means for which stitch. And even then, even after you learn all of that, sometimes you'll have to refer back to a key or a legend to figure out what certain symbols are. Because originally, when I started crocheting, I was like, those charts are confusing. I don't know where to begin. But if you take some time and you sit down and try to decipher it, you can figure out what they mean. Okay, I'm at to a point I got to figure out what I need to do here. Okay, because I'm at a corner. Again, each round, the corners are different because your each side is getting bigger. Okay, skip all of that. Go into this and do this stitch. I do okay on a chart until there's a surface crochet on it. Yeah. You got it, saved it onto your Google Drive. If I want to venture into charts, yeah, definitely. What I could do at some point, I can even do it next week. Go over charts again. If anybody needs a little refresher or needs to learn, or wants to learn, I should say. Because that's what my stream is. It's mainly educational. The month of August is a strange month for me, where I'm not really teaching much. But usually we do some teaching and learn stitches or different types of granny squares. Or, like I said, reading charts. I think sometime back in the spring, I did a Yarn 101 lesson. Brief overview about fiber content. And, well, it wasn't really brief. I did go in depth in some of it. Fiber content and yarn weights and gauge and all that good stuff. Kind of what sets my stream a little bit apart from other streamers is the educational aspect of it. Yeah, I'll be more than willing to show you how to read a chart. Or any other questions that you may have. And also, if anybody wants to join the Discord and has a question, you can always ask the question on there. And if I'm not around or not available to answer it, there might more than likely there will be somebody willing to answer it for you if they can. But like I said, this pattern, for the most part, it's something I don't have to really refer to back and forth all the time until we get to the corners, because it's same thing over and over. Well, it's not same thing over and over again. It's a basic two pattern repeat until you get to that faux border, I guess I'm going to call it. The rows with the popcorn stitches and the back post double crochet. Just like back in the spring, I was making those shawls, 5 or 6 shawls all in the same pattern. I will keep that pattern in my library of patterns I'm acquiring, and I will probably do that again at some point in a different yarn. That was done in a roving style yarn. I'll probably try it in a more traditional spun yarn. But the same thing with this, I will probably attempt to do this blanket again in the future. I think if I ever do this blanket again, I'm going to play around with color. And I do snag this yarn because this is can never pronounce the word. Let me. How do you spell it? Yeah. Oh, how do you pronounce that word? Oh, here we go. No, that's not how you pronounce it. Boucle, a blue. Basically, it's got a strand that is spun around it, but that part is tight and the rest of it's kind of fluffy, I guess. So it forms a textured yarn. And that strand that goes around the yarn is easily snagged by my hook. I want to say blue clay, but that's probably not how you pronounce that word. The other example that everybody's familiar with, and it's the bane of a lot of people's existence, is Lion Brand Lion Brand Homespun. Similar type structured yarn. This one isn't as bad as Homespun. Again, I'm not certain what this one is. Again, I've had this for many years. I want to say it's discontinued now. I want to say it is a Bernat baby of some sort. Boucle, maybe. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, I want to say this is a Bernat baby. Not the Bernat baby they have currently. Yeah, and this is a discontinued yarn that I have because those of you who don't know, I used to work for Michael's Arts and Crafts for a few years. And if they came across any skein of yarn that had the paper banding ripped off, store policy was to find one that had a band, take it up. That's how you pronounce the fabric. That's how you pronounce the fabric? Okay. Store policy was you find a skein that had the paper banding on it, take it up to customer service, have them write it off, whatever they did in their system. The band that didn't have the skein that didn't have the band will get thrown away. Well, my store manager was like, yeah, we're not having any of that. They would write it off and then put it in a plastic bag, a clear plastic bag, roughly 1.5 by a foot or so. Get a bunch of skeins that didn't have the banding on it, and then mark it for a few dollars, and they'd make some money, and they weren't throwing away perfectly good yarn. So that's where I accumulated a lot of my stash. And that's where this all came from. Because for a few years there, I was not buying yarn right off the shelf. I was stash building. Big time stash building. You know those Rubbermaid storage totes that you like put Christmas ornaments in or whatever? They're like, I don't know, however many, 20-some gallon totes. I had at least 5, maybe 6 of them full, jam-packed, full of yarn. All different types of yarn. Mostly worsted weight, but then a bunch of novelty yarn and you name it. Okay, this is where I got to do my little corner thing, but I know what the pattern is because I'd referred to it a little while ago. I want to check something. I don't remember doing this part on this last corner. Oh, apparently I did. Okay. Want to make certain I did the corner correctly, because if not, I would have to frog out that whole side. And we're not having all that. Sheepy! How are you, Sheepy? Give me a second. I need to, wait a minute. Give me a second. Hold on. I chained 2 when I should not have chained 2. I should have gone right into this V stitch. And let me get this part here established. For those of you who are not familiar with Black Sheep Meat, definitely check out her stream. She is a variety crafter. You crochet. I've only ever seen you crochet. Um, yeah, I know you do a lot of things. I know you are starting to do tarot streams on Wednesdays. Because I was in there the other day. Yeah, anytime I've tuned in, you've been crocheting. But definitely check out her channel if you like chaos. If you like, and this is her word, she's a degenerate. There are some inappropriate things going on. Not things, inappropriate conversations, I should say, or not inappropriate. I don't think that's the correct word. I think the word would be off color. It's a good time over there. And yes, and you made it. You found me. She was having an issue of getting the notifications when I stream. So I guess either you fix that, and I know Twitch the past few days, even today, has been crazy. They're in the process of updating a bunch of different things. I was in Zakalia's stream, and then I looked over. I was doing something, and I looked back over, and it was fine. The stream was fine, but on the left-hand column with all the followers, it didn't say I didn't have any followers. And then I went into the dashboard and a bunch of different things where I can check on my end. It said it didn't have access, and I'm like, there's something wrong there. Still didn't get a notification, just got lucky and saw you on, because I remember what time you told me that you'd be on. Yep, nope, that's fine. But yeah, you know how Twitch can be. Twitch be twitching. But definitely check her out. I first became aware of Sheepy the other week when she was on a collab stream on Pix's channel. It was her Pix and Drubby Zoo. They were doing some Ammies from a book of cryptid creatures. But yeah, definitely check her out. Lots of fun over on her channel. Yeah, I still don't understand all these emotes and all these other things, and again, I've only been streaming since December. I'm a relative newbie. And like I was telling everybody, this is what I'm making. I'm making this blanket. I think I've shared it in your stream, Sheepy. Not your stream, your Discord. The endlessly elegant blanket, which I am obsessed with. It can look so different compared to some of the examples they have on the Ravelry listing. They can look totally different from each other. Here. Oh, the yarn got a little thick there, because I'm like, why is there a fan that's that soon? Just the yarn had a little thick spot. But yeah, I mentioned in Sheepy's stream the other night about the washing of the hooks. She thought that was bizarre. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I think we got it. So what are you doing, Sheepy? What have you been up to? Still haven't washed your hooks? Yeah. That's fine. We can be the Dirty Hook Club. Your Baphomet that you were making and you're working on putting embellishments on is adorable. I love all the beading and the needle felting and everything you're putting on the horns. Oh no, you're welcome. Bunch of dirty hookers. Except the okay, I don't know about you, Fairy Dust, but I'm not just a dirty hooker. I'm a dirty tight hooker. I think I need to add that as a tagline or something to my stream. Yes, definitely facts. Except, and I don't know if anybody else is familiar, Sheepy's going to get this, except I have never, ever, ever broken a crochet hook like Pix has. You're a loose hooker. I can zoom in a little. I don't need to be that far. Well, that's fine if you're a loose hooker. We are welcoming to all types of hookers here. Now, the hooks he showed that he broke, yes, they're plastic because they are 8mm, and when you get to the larger sizes, they tend to be more plastic. You can find metal ones, but still. But he also does use the really chunky, the thicker yarns when he does his ammies. But yeah, I've never ever broken a hook. I need something to drink. Lately, I've been enjoying. Now I make it myself, or we make it ourselves. I half iced tea and half pink lemonade, an Arnold Palmer, or in my part of the country, we call them half and halves. That has been like my drink of choice the past week or so, I guess. So refreshing. And we're going to have another ad, believe it or not. I might have to change the duration of these ads. I know they can probably be annoying. I'll have to work on that off stream. Actually, you know what? I snoozed it, but I don't know if that's gonna... No, that just delays it. Again, I'm still learning all of this. I'm already coming up to another corner. And then I have my last side to do before I go to the next round. I don't think we're going to get to the popcorn stitches tonight on this. Yeah. 3. Got to find that middle stitch of that fan. But definitely check out that's what you were doing. Last night Sheepy was working on a sweater, knitting a sweater. In this really pretty green color. It's gorgeous yarn. I think when I'm in Sheepy's stream, I get distracted with all the shenanigans and everything that goes on. I don't always remember exactly what people are working on. Hookers do spend a lot of time on the corner. Yeah, we do. You get distracted. Well, yeah. Your followers in your chat distract you a lot. Okay. Now I got a chain 2. Was that Badumptis for the hookers on the corner there, Grammy? Speaking of the corner, I'm on the corner right now. That one. Now I gotta readjust on my last side of this round. I think what I might end up doing come September, we are gonna have Granny. Well, we are gonna have Granny month. I was gonna say I'll have to figure out the planning. I think we are gonna have one dedicated night that we will do blankets for Project Linus as a regular thing on the stream. I think that's what we will probably do. But like I said, August is pretty much all Project Linus blankets and our Throwback Thursdays of our vintage patterns. Oh, and then also in September, we're going to bring back the temperature blanket that I haven't touched in a few months. Yeah, I definitely have to come up with a schedule for September. Alrighty, we're going to have an ad, and I will be back when it's over. Welcome back, everybody. Again, thank you for sitting through that ad. Almost to the end of this round. If you could only feel this yarn, it's so squishy. It's the texture and the stitches and super cuddly. I hope whoever ends up gets words. Whoever ends up getting this blanket, enjoy the coziness of it, and I'm sure they will. It's the stitch. But I hope everybody enjoyed the Throwback Thursday mystery edge pattern that we did on Thursday. I actually enjoyed making it. It really wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. I haven't blocked it yet. I will block it and then take pictures of what it looks like blocked, because they do look a lot better once they're blocked. And I hope everybody was able to see the stitches, because I was using the size 5 crochet thread, and that's what a lot of people had chose in the poll on Discord. They do look a lot better when you use the thinner thread as opposed to the worsted weight cotton. But the rest of this week, well, this coming week, this guy's going to be more Project Linus blankets. Thursday will be Throwback Thursday. We're going to be doing a vintage pattern. But over here, oh, here it is. On Thursday, we're going to be making, they're calling it a coaster. It's a tiny little doily. And it does have a color changes, and the edges has a little, has a little ruffle to it. So that will be our project on Thursday. I need to find more vintage patterns to do and make samples of, because that's the only one I have. Alrighty, that was 3 of those. Okay, chain 2. Now skip that, go here. Okay, these couple stitches here when you end around are a little difficult because you do a slip stitch to finish the round to get up to where you need to be, and stitching into all those slip stitches is not the easiest. Okay, slip stitch to join, and now I gotta slip stitch my way to the corner. Do my little corner thing. And now I gotta see what I have to do for this round. Oh, this is just the fan round. This is an easy fan round. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. 1, 2, 3 fans. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we do a fan into here. Hey, Upcycly. How are you? And thank you for the lurk. It's always good to see you. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. This round, every other round, the rounds of the fans on this pattern really easy to do. They go by somewhat quick. Blanket's getting almost too big to deal with here on my desk. Kind of like the temperature blanket. Temperature blanket is very unwieldy. Not only am I a tight hooker, and not only am I apparently a dirty hooker, but I'm also a fast hooker. I'm everything around. I need more. Need more of my yummy, yummy half and half. Speed hooking should lead to more commissions. I've only ever, well, I've never really commissioned anything. When I worked at Michael's, a customer did come in and inquire if anybody crocheted. It was an older lady, and she said that she used to crochet and she couldn't do it anymore. I don't know if she physically couldn't do it, she couldn't see, whatever. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I ended up making 2 blankets for her, and I did get a commission for that. Technically, I really wasn't supposed to do that because I was on the clock, and anyway. But I've never done that before. I've made things and sold them, but not really as a commission. I've made hats and scarves, and I've sold those. I've thought about it, though. A lot of the things I've made has either been for my own use or as gifts. Now, donations. Did my stitch come out done? Oh, I just didn't finish the stitch. Seven. Oh, come on. You think I would learn how to yarn over? Lost the stitch. Lost it again. Got a yarn bowl with my ball of yarn, but it doesn't always want to feed out the right way. It kind of rolls back on itself. I had a friend the other day text me, the magic knot she made kept coming undone. I've never had a magic knot come undone. You sent her a video to the Russian join, and she likes that better than the magic knot. Oh. You mean joining two ends of yarn together, like splicing it together? I don't know if I've ever done the magic knot when it comes to that. I usually do a weaver's knot. Or, I don't know what you call it. When you finish your last stitch of the old, you don't complete it and you add the new one in and finish it with the new strand and then then stitch over your ends. I've done that. But I have done the Russian join a few times testing it out. I don't think I've done it actually in a pattern itself. In your opinion, how old must a crochet pattern be to be considered vintage? Oh, Grammy with the questions. I never looked into a weaver's knot. I'll have to look it up. I can show you a weaver's knot real quick. To answer your question, Grammy, I'm not really certain. Give me 1 second. To be a vintage pattern, well, in my purposes for Throwback Thursday, anything up until the 50s, maybe the 60s. Other people might say even the 80s. I'd probably say the 50s. Alrighty, so this is the weaver's knot. I'm going to show you the way I do it. So there are two ways of doing it, but I'm going to show you the way I do it. That is a whole lot easier for me. So the blue yarn is the yarn that I'm running out of. So this is the end of my yarn, and I want to join it. I'm just using these colors as an example. You could do this with different colors. You could do it with the same color, whatever. But just for demonstration purposes, I'll use the blue and the pink. So this is the yarn I'm ending with. I'm running out of this blue yarn. So I'm going to put that on the bottom, and I'm going to put the pink on the top, form an X. And I'm going to pinch where they form. Pinch it between my thumb and my index finger. So the blue is on the bottom, the pink is on the top. Old is on the bottom, new is on the top. It's got these little ears, tails, or whatever. So you're going to take the tail from the old, wrap it around here. So you're going to wrap it around your thumb, go behind your ears, and you're going to go in between the ears. So I'll show that again. You're going to wrap it, you're going to go behind and in between the ears. And you just can hold that all right there. And then you're going to take the tail from your new strand, and I know it's new because it's pink, but it's going to be the one that's on the right because they're crossed over. And you're going to take that tail and put it through the loop, under the loop. And now you're going to hold both tails. Don't worry about all this mess here. You're going to hold both tails and your old strand, pull them together. And now, if you pull both, they should be really tight. And trim off your tails pretty close. That's a weaver's knot. I could trim it a little closer. I don't want to trim it too close. I'll show that again. So the blue is my old. I'm running out of the blue. And I'm right-handed, so I keep that on the right. And I got my new coming over on top. So I form an X, pinch the X. It might be might be called the same thing as the magic knot. Because this is the type of knot that weavers actually like with a loom and everything. This is if they break a warp thread, this is how they attach. So it could be the same thing, just crocheters call it a magic knot. I'm assuming, I don't know. So again, I've crossed, my old is on the bottom, my new is on top. Take the old, wrap it around my thumb, and in between the two tails. So it's splitting the two tails, or the bunny ears. And then you're going to take your new tail, the tail from your new yarn, under that loop. And then grab both tails or both ears, hold onto them, and then take your old and pull tight, really tight, and then you can pull both strands. And I've never had that come undone. Flip that out because I don't want these two joined. But that is the weaver's knot, and I guess it's the magic knot. The Russian join involves a needle, and you thread it through, and yeah, which works. But if you don't have a hand needle nearby, the weaver's knot, or if it's the same thing as the magic knot, will work. See, a little bit of education comes back to the stream. But yeah, to answer your question, Grammy, I would say, in my opinion, any pattern from the 50s or 60s. Six, seven. Yeah, anything from probably the 50s or 60s would be vintage. I don't want to say the 80s because I was around in the 80s. I'm like, like nowadays the music I grow up on is considered classic rock, or yeah, it's like, I don't like that. With the yarn. Like that, the website where I got this from, this doily, and some of the other doilies, well, the spiderweb doily we made a few weeks ago, um, they were actual patterns that were published back in the early to mid 20th century, but they're on the website freevintagecrochet.com. Um, I don't know how recent their patterns are. I don't know how quote unquote modern they have, but any of the ones I'm picking are probably going to be from like the 30s, 40s, or 50s. First time I heard someone refer to music that came out in my lifetime as oldies, I cringed. Then I'm like, that was over 40 years ago, and I cringed again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a meme that I've seen lately. It says something about, what is it? Somebody references has mentioned something about 20 years ago, and they're like, they're bright, and they're obviously not a younger person. They're like, so something about 20 years ago, and they realize that person is talking about 2003, and in their head they're like, oh, I was thinking 1983. No, time definitely gets away from you. And believe it or not, we're having another ad. I think it's going to be the last ad of the stream. Shortly, we will be ending the stream, and we are going to have to find somebody to raid. I'm getting hungry. I will be back right after this ad break. Welcome back, everybody. I think we're going to go raid somebody. I finished that one side and I turned the corner. I worked the corner like hookers are supposed to do. So I think we're going to go raid somebody. And years ago, I cringed when my kids started shopping for cassettes from the oldies bin. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Facts. Very much facts. Okay. Again, thank you for tuning into my stream. And we did our Linus project blanket, which the camera doesn't like me at certain angles. Again, thank you, Grammy, for the Team Linus shirt. I will be on again tomorrow night, same time. More Project Linus donation blankets. Working on these. Might start a third one. We'll see. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow night. We're gonna go raid somebody. We're gonna go raid a streamer. Looks like they are a relatively new streamer. I've never been in their stream before, but they are doing some crochet, and I think they're doing the loop stitch back in May. Yeah, May, when I was doing the back to basics, or how to do all the basic stitches. I think I did the loop stitch. Where they can probably explain to you. Where one side, there's a right side and a wrong side, but the right side will have a loop, like shag carpeting. It'll have a loop on it. So it's really good for fur and texture. So we're gonna go raid Cake Crochet. I think they are a small streamer, like I'm a small streamer. And we're gonna go see what they're doing. And I will chat with you all tomorrow night, same time, for more donation blankets. So everybody stick around for the raid. And if you can't make it on the raid, there is the link. So everybody have a good evening and happy crafting.